Morning, folks. It's Saturday, June the 12th. Nathan and I are heading to Shell Beach, Louisiana. We're going to try to catch some sheep's head, reds, speckled trout, you know, the usual, whatever bite. However, we are going to go end up in the marsh, and there's those little lovely marsh bass that we love to eat so much. So we're hoping we get some of those too. But it is 5:15 in the morning, sometime around in there, and supposed to have a little over a foot of tidal movement on the rising tide. So we're gonna go out here and see what we can do. Y'all come go with us. Brian and Nathan for Louisiana Hook and Shoot. We're all Louisiana, all the time. Let's go fishing. Nate kept pointing down, down, down. I said, I know, and it just went past me, just like that right there. Hey folks, thank you for joining us here at Louisiana Hook and Shoot. Been trying to make a few different type videos than we have in the past. You've watched us catch fish. We've told you where we were. On this episode of Louisiana Hook and Shoot, what I wanted to do was share with you a tactic, strategy, call it what you will, of how Nathan and I were able to put a decent box of fish together, even though we were facing a slow bite. So before I get with all that, before I reveal to you what we were doing, take a look at some of our catches from this past Saturday. Folks, well, if you'll notice, we are not in Shell Beach. We're actually in Hopedale. We got there and they didn't have any live bait. So live or fresh, no shrimp. So we decided we packed up and came to Hopedale. And what we're gonna do, the plan for today, Nate, what's the plan for today? To catch fish?
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the rock dam first. We haven't been there in a little bit, and then come back and fish our marsh areas. Everybody, Nate in the Red Sea Dragon over there. Me and old baby girl. Anyway, we kind of rounded the corner down there at the rock dam, and it was like Custer's army was up against the rocks. There was a bunch of people at the rocks in boats. There were people walking on the rocks. So people riding around and through the rocks. So we decided to go back to our normal marsh haunts. I don't know what it is. Probably a catfish. But we got him. Yep. Alright folks, this feels like another catfish. Let's see. Yep. Different variety. Hard head this time. We start doing much of this, and I'll be moved. Oh, you know what you should have got you at Walmart? A dehookifier. Got a little one. That starts the day off. Sheep's head. Oh, I am, buddy. Yes, indeed. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. Hold still, you old devil. Uh-oh, this is pulling drag. This is something better. Yes, indeed. Hold still. He jumped out of the net. Hold still. Hold still. I don't know. I gotta measure. Whoo-wee. That was exciting. I went on the bottom, Nate. I caught a good one out there. He'd spit it. Who's whistling? Do what? No, somebody whistled. You got him? Folks, that's a beautiful fish right there. Let's see if he measures. Get my measuring device out. I gotta get my grippers out though, 'cause I ain't fixing to let him get away. Oh yeah. I don't know, we're finna find out. Let's see, Nate. Oh yeah, he's over 18. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Folks, we're catching just a boatload of them right there. There it goes, Nate. Oh, Nate got him something. Another short trout. Or is that a croaker? A croaker. All right. Alright folks, we got another red while I'm on the phone.
Swimming around with
I know. I was on the phone. Mike Blue, if you listening, I was talking to you about that hatch cover. If you watching, talking to you about that hatch cover. And this was swimming around with my shrimp. Nate kept pointing down, down, down. I said, I know, and it just went past me, just like that right there. Hey, Lord. I'm having... Just swimming right on by me. And when I pressured up on him, I know. Hey, Lord. I think he's gonna measure live. I'm pretty certain he's gonna measure. But easy. I mean, I knew, but what could I do? Oh yeah, he's 17. Oh yeah.
This portion of Louisiana Hook and Shoot is brought to you by American Hunter, your locally owned, Louisiana proud, full-service gun and archery shop. If guns, knives, and archery equipment are your obsession, then this is the pro shop for you. American Hunter, Ronald Reagan Highway, Covington, Louisiana.
You was away. Old Nate done caught a bass. Showed right here. That's what I'm talking about. And I got a croaker. Alright folks, let's see what we got. Whoo, baby. Yes, indeed. About that, folks. Huh? Beautiful red. I mean a beautiful red. Look at that, folks. Look at that, how pretty that fish is. I want you to look. That blue tail. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Get him in the boat. Legal 16. 16. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, folks. You didn't see me catch him because he hit it and run. I had to grab my pole, about jerked it in the water. But boy, he's pretty. He's gonna make it gray, but look at that. Is that not pretty or what? That's a fine fish right there. Fine fish right there. All right, folks, now that we're back and you've seen some of the fish that we caught using this strategy, let me tell you about it. Now, this is not, I'm not saying that it's unique. I'm not saying that other people do not employ this. It's you know, there's nothing new under the sun, but the past couple of times we've been out, it's been a real slow bite. Now, that's contributed by a couple of different factors. Number one, there's a lot of fresh water in the marsh right now. It was a real dirty water. It just wasn't great water conditions. Also, there was very little tidal movement. Now there was some, but it was very little. And then third, the salinity level was way down because of the fresh water that was mixed in. So you add all those contributing factors together, and it was a very slow bite. So I was trying to think of things to overcome, and there was something that I thought about from last year's episode where Jared, my son-in-law, went with us to Shell Beach, and he caught a redfish. And his explanation of catching that redfish, it kind of clicked with me, and I said, I'm gonna try that and see if it works. And if you'll remember, this is the fish that Jared caught last year. All right, tell us about it, buddy.
Well, I was sitting here, watched my bobber go under a little bit after I've been popping it, and just let it sit because I saw it kind of going under, and then it took off, and then the rest is history.
All right, so now that you've seen the fish that Jared caught, let me tell you what I done this past Saturday, and Nathan as well, but me primarily, which helped me put those 4 reds that you saw us catch in the boat. And why there's not a whole lot of hook setting going on when we're filming this past episode. So we got there, extremely slow fishing. The night before, I rigged up 3 rods. I rigged up one in Carolina rig, and I got about 2 foot a leader. I rigged up a popping cork, nothing special. I got my Speckinator popping cork on there, but I've got it about 12 to 14 inches of leader because we're fishing in the marsh and it drops off into those canals and those channels, but up on the edge of the water on the edge of the marsh where those reds tend to like to hang out around that grass, oftentimes it's only 18 inches, 2 feet. So I wanted to have that where I could pop up against that edge and my bait wouldn't get lodged in the grass and such as that. And then, well, it broke off right when I was leaving. But then what I had was I had another popping cork rigged up, and this one was about 3 feet, between 2 and 3 feet of leader. Now, here's what I done. The bite, again, was extremely slow. We went to our normal places. We threw into the middle of the canals. We were popping the cork, and nothing was happening. So what I did was I first took the short one and I put a live shrimp on it. I threw it in the middle of the canal and I popped it. Didn't get a bite. I popped it basically all the way back to the kayak. Then I took it and I threw it away from the kayak on the edge. And I did that and I left it. I did that because number one, I knew that reds like to hang out on the edge, and I've caught them there before. So what I wanted to do, I kind of went back old school, my old perch jerking habits, and I just left it on the edge. I stuck it in the rod holder and left it. Then I took my longer one and I did the same thing. I threw it in the middle. What I was trying to do was test to see if I could find out if they were in the water column anywhere. I threw that one out there and I popped it. Occasionally, we would get a bite. It'd be a short trout, something like that, undersized, and we caught a ton of those. But when I popped it 5 or 6 times in the middle of the channel, I'd leave it sit and I just shoved it in my rod holder and let the current take it. Again, this is in a known redfish area. They're known to troll in there. They're known to come through there. We know that they come through there often. And then what I ended up doing was taking my Carolina rig, and as you saw in previous episodes, I worked the oyster beds. And I just kind of work it. I caught undersized trout. I caught some croaker, catfish. Never did I catch a keeper trout. Never did I catch a redfish on this trip off of the bottom. But it kept me busy. But what would happen is while I was doing that, 4 times the rod in the holder hit. And this was probably 5 to sometimes 10 minutes after I had left it float. 4 times that happened. That was good enough for me to realize that this may be a strategy that I wanted to share with you. Again, this is not something that you can use when the bite is real happy, or when it's on fire. You're not going to use this tactic because you're going to throw that popping cork out there and you're going to pop it a couple times and bam, it's going to go down and you're just going to load the boat up with trout. You're going to load the boat up with redfish, but that is not the bite we were experiencing. It takes a lot of patience. You got to be willing to sit there. But Nathan caught a couple of bass, caught a sheep's head, and caught 4 slot-sized redfish doing this. And we caught some croaker off the bottom. We had a great day. The fish was just nothing. It was real slow. But we had a great day on the water, and we ended up bringing back a box of fish. And I think using that was the difference in us putting fish in the boat, bringing home and filleting a couple of bags full of reds that we're going to put on the half shell or whatever we decide to do with it. And then us going back to the launch skunked, because there have been times that I went back skunked. And I'll tell you, there was a boat came through And those guys were standing on the bow. They had their trolling motor going, and they were just popping those corks. They ran through, and they were out in 10 minutes. And I also had reports of people going 30 miles out and come back and didn't have as many fish as we had. It's not for everybody. Everybody doesn't like it. But I can tell you what, I had that bait, that live bait out trolling in those known redfish zones. And it was a difference in us bringing back a mediocre box of fish and us bringing back. Now, I'm certain that there are other tactics, strategies that can be employed for on slow bite days, but that is something that I ran upon. I'm certain it's not new to anybody else, but it worked for us. It helped us put a decent box of fish together to bring home. It was a difference in my trip. Now, I'm going to get better at running soft plastics and things like that, but I'm going to tell you, that tactic, that strategy made the difference in this past trip. You may want to use it, you may not, but at least it's something else that you can put in your tackle box. Thanks a lot. We appreciate you being here with us on Louisiana Hook and Shoot. We're all Louisiana, all the time. Folks, it ain't every day you out fishing and a plane lands by you. But that's exactly what we got. Plane just landed in the canal by us. That's awesome.